All right, my friends, today we're going to make a video about making videos, and we're going to make a video. So the subject of today, besides how I make my videos, is testing this piece of coax, or actually some other pieces of coax that actually do need testing. We're going to use this today, the Rig Expert antenna analyzer, and one of these, this is a standard dummy load. Not to be confused with the dummy behind the camera, this time on K6 UDA radio. I think we need a paint can. Getting ready for field day. I've got all this coax. Got a little wet. Need to test it. I have my old paint can. And I have all my coax. This is an old dummy load. Look at that. Dead on. So for this little test session, I am using my old Cantenna. This is a 50 ohm load. It is set in a paint can with oil in it, and it will do the trick really nicely. It'll handle up to several hundred watts if you want to hook it directly up to your radio. The Rig Expert antenna analyzer allows me to do all kinds of things very easily. I can check impedance and SWR across several different bands all at once. And yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with this piece of cable. One of the other cool things that I could do is, I think I've got about a 50-foot piece of cable here, and this is telling me that I've got 47.98 feet on that coax. So the first thing I did here was set up an establishing shot. Using the Canon M50 and the attached Rode microphone there, I sat in the backyard and kind of gave you an overview of what this video was all about. That is called my opener. So for these shots that I do in the backyard and some other places besides my desk, I use the Canon M50 and a 10mm lens with this Rode mic attached to it. I set it up very close to myself to give a kind of a different perspective. Now, while you're watching my talking head, I use little clips inside of that and lay them on top to illustrate things like putting all these items that I'm talking about down on the table. This breaks up the monotony of a single talking head shot. So on the editing side, I am using a program called Final Cut Pro. This is for the Mac. And up here in our timeline, down at the bottom of the screen, this is my establishing shot. This is called my opener. I do it every show. Within that opener, it is pretty much me as a talking head. Maybe I'm holding a few things and illustrating them. And you can see up on top here, I have laid down what is called B-roll. B-roll is little snippets of stuff that you put on top of the talking head. It breaks up the monotony and gives you a little bit more action. So now we're going to move on to the first shot of the video, and in this shot I am going to roll it. And what this shot is going to do, this is a first person view. I'm using a GoPro mounted on my head with a little strap. I'm just taking small little snippets because I don't need all the video that goes along with making this. I could just tell the story, do the narrative, and bring in a little bit of video that's exciting and visually stimulating. Now remember, all the video that you shoot for a video doesn't actually have to be in the video. That's what editing is for. Trim, trim, trim. You see, when you get right down to it, everything needs to serve the king. The king is the story, and if your cameras or your talent or anything doesn't absolutely do justice to your story, well, your video is not going to look good. It's going to look disjointed or whatever. It is sometimes a huge challenge. Moving into shot number 2. This is entirely made up of B-roll, and I shoot almost all my B-roll on this camera here. This is my Sony RX100. Very, very cool little camera. It does 4K and is very, very nice. I mount this thing on a music stand with a pole, and it gives me that look down and a very, very tight shot that I could do all of these kinds of effects with and make a very good tutorial type video. Now, if you're just starting out making videos and maybe all you have is your phone, well, that's not a problem. You see, a lot of this stuff can be done with one camera, multiple shots, different kinds of stuff, as long as you're willing to do the work and edit. Now, this is a sequence I shot when we were doing some repeater work, and all I had with me was my iPhone. So this whole thing was shot right there on my phone. So here's the story. I don't know what I'm doing here is setting up an introduction for the experts. Because when it comes to repeaters and all this stuff, I definitely am not one. My mind. But these guys, they know what they're doing. They are the experts.
N680T used to be W.
Now here I am establishing this guy as one of my repeater experts. And all I have to do is put his name in there and say repeater expert.
With hopes of probably getting rid of it. We're probably going to modernize everything. We have a 40-year-old transmitter in there. And Sal behind me here, K6SAL, is our antenna expert.
Al brought Sal in, and all of a sudden now I can just introduce Sal with the same kind of graphic, and he is now an expert too.
Doing all the antenna, heliacs, everything else, and hopefully we're going to wind up with a new station here for this repeater.
Looking at all these control codes, oh my God.
Dr. Bowen has been on the show many times, and he needs almost no introduction. You see, all of this stuff comes together once you've got all of the original video in the can, so they say, and now you could get in there and you could start editing, and this is where you actually build your story. You see, when you're shooting it, you might be actually just, you have an outline of your story, you kind of know where you want to go, what you want to say or what you want to do, but you don't have it all put together. And I know these phones have some incredible editing software built in, but to make a really truly good video, you need to add a little bit more. Alright, so let's take a look at my editing process for this single camera iPhone shot. And we start off with this short establishing shot here. This is a sequence I shot when we were doing some repeater work. Now, I walked you into the repeater vault, and I did this at double speed and dubbed out all of the audio that was in there and used a voiceover to explain this. Once we get to this point here, it shifts over to normal speed. And what I did is I just bladed it right there, made everything from on the left side that has the blue outline, that is double speed, and then we go to single speed. As we progress through this thing, it shows the vault, the inside of the vault, and then it comes to me. This is where I came in with the voiceover again and established that I'm not an expert and those are my experts. Here I bring the audio back up and come in, and now I switch over to the experts and go back down to the voiceover, and I just keep running this all the way through. And let's stop it, and we'll run that all the way through there, all the way up to Dr. Ballin. And now I'm going to have a scene change here, and I could do some kind of a dissolve or something in there, but right now all I have is a cut. You see, and the cut works, which brings me to audio. Audio is as important or more important than the video that you're actually using. You see, video snippets can be blurry, they could cut in and out and do all kinds of funny, weird things to give a sense of action. But your audio, if you're going to do audio-based videos, they absolutely have to be crystal clear. That audio has to be nice. I have a waterfall running behind me, which is adding some noise in the background, but I'm using a Rode video mic, and it is mounted on top of this camera here. I also make a lot of use of a Zoom external audio recorder, and that will isolate my sound even more. I can get further away from the camera. I could do a lot of different things with external microphones. Anyway, guys, that is a quick look at my workflow. This is how I put videos together. And if you are a YouTube creator, if you're a new YouTube creator, an old YouTube creator, and you want to up your game, maybe some of this stuff will give you that leg up. And you know what? You might just be a whole hell of a lot more creative than I am, and I hope you are, because really what we're looking for in this hobby is stimulating videos that people want to actually watch. And watching those talking heads or just that static shot of a radio on a bench, it tends to get a little bit boring. So challenge yourself. Do something different. It may work, it may not. I know a whole hell of a lot of stuff that I try doesn't work on the first try, but I have an idea of what I want to do, and I always try to make it happen. And I'm not afraid of failing, because when you fail, you're taking a step forward. The next time it'll get better and better and better. Alright guys, if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button and the little bell notification underneath. YouTube is doing some very, very bizarre stuff lately. Trust me, it is starting to affect small creators like myself, independent guys. Big, huge companies like Vox, like NBC, they're buying up space. They want to put the pressure on Google and YouTube because they want to be the gatekeepers of all information. They want to demonetize small creators and independent creators. They want to cut us off from you. And I don't want that to happen, and I hope you don't want that to happen. And while you're at it, please consider supporting me on Patreon or PayPal. I mean, like, what? $1 a video. Just $1 would help me out immensely. That's all I got. I hope this was informational for you. I hope you enjoyed it. If there's anything else you want to know, please leave a comment below. Let me know if you like this kind of comment, or let me know if you like this kind of content in addition to the straight ham radio stuff. And I will see you next time. I'm Bob, K6UDA, and I'm out of here. 7-3.